YouTube frogs. So you may have heard, out of absolutely nowhere, we see Cryobeto and Eula engaging in some form of conflict in the 2.3 trailer. And with that, a surprise dual banner for the first half. In this video, I'll be covering some general preparation tips and frequently asked questions for Eula to help jumpstart your investment a week and a half before her banner drops. The structure will be very similar to our previous, quote, everything to prepare for X character videos. Those of you who already own Eula but are looking to potentially grab an early constellation, I'll go over whether or not it's really worth as well. This will be a precursor to an updated complete guide to Eula that will follow my usual guide videos and be a complete breakdown to her kit. There are currently 2 videos on my channel covering my older complete guide and a combo rotation video which total to 1 hour. The updated guide will aim to condense all of that information and anything new within 30 to 40 minutes. This one is a crash course on how to prepare for a second arrival. And as a small reminder, I stream nearly every day on Twitch if you want to check me out there. Link in the description below. Let's begin. Alright, first off, a quick section on her material preparation. Even though there's only a week and a half before she arrives, this should be ample time to prepare. For level 80 and level 90, you'll need 26 to 46 cryohypostasis boss materials, 108 to 168 dandelion seeds, around 30 of each hilichurl mask, 300 to 420k mora. And for her talent materials, we're going to need about 20 more of each hilichurl mask, Mondstadt resistance talent books, and Dragon Lord's Crown, the horn thingies, from Ajdaha Weekly for level 7 and higher. In my opinion, cost-efficient investment stops at 80 out of 80. Ascending to 80 out of 90 is worth for the crit damage increase, which is her ascension stat. Leveling to 90 out of 90 is extra investment and only provides 24 base attack, which is around 3 to 4% DPS increase. For her talent leveling priority, we have Elemental Burst is number 1, then Normal Attack, and then Elemental Skill. She's a very burst-heavy character with high-hitting normal attacks. Her Elemental Skill's only meaningful gain besides the damage increase is the Physical Res and Cryo Res decrease, which only gains 1% per level. Her Burst and Normal Attack are worth investing to level 8 or higher. For the strongest nuke potential and damage per screenshot build, maximize investment in her Burst and invest in Elemental Skill for that juicy 1% per level resistance decrease. I mean, you need everything, right? Alright, for weapons, it turns out we actually have quite a few options besides her signature, Broken Pines. Let's dive into her most suitable options and my personal recommendations, leaving the numbers and math to the complete guide later. 3-star Skyrider Greatsword. This is an underrated and very powerful weapon, perfectly synergistic with Eula. Even though it does have low base attack, this is compensated with up to 40% attack passive at R5, and also grants a hefty 40% physical damage bonus at level 80. If you want to go budget and still beat out nearly all the 4-star weapon choices, this is your go-to weapon. So, 4-star suitable weapons. Of the craftable weapons, the Snow Tomb Star Silver, despite its mediocre passive, is actually the most usable option for her, and it's pretty good. In terms of power though, the 3-star Skyrider Greatsword is basically equivalent and costs less to invest in. It just doesn't look quite as pretty. 4-star Prototype Archaic. This is if you have this weapon leveled already and don't want to level up the 3-star Snow Tomb Star Silver, go for it. 4-star A Blackcliff Slasher. If you manage to get 2 to 3 stacks before her burst pops, this weapon is great. It's pretty situational if you can pull off the stack gain pre-burst, because that's where most of Eula's damage comes from. 4-star Lithic Blade. So this was only available for a limited time, but with high refinement, it's definitely usable even with one party stack with like Zhongli for example. Eula herself does not count towards this because she's from Mondstadt. Alright, so 4-star Serpent Spine. This is one of the strongest options for Eula, but it's conditional on a shield to maintain the passive stacks here. The passive stacks at R1 grant up to 30% more additional damage bonus. This additional damage bonus is on the same column as physical damage, so it actualizes to about 15 to 20% more DPS. Also, this is the only weapon option that grants a crit rate secondary, which makes it much easier to build around in comparison to the other options, especially considering that Eula's ascension stat is crit damage. And finally, the newest weapon addition suitable for Eula, the 4-star Akumaru. So this weapon is strictly for her elemental burst damage and maximizes effectiveness if you want to run the Eula riding composition for the maximum energy capacity of your team. And if you want to have fun, the free Luxurious Sea Lord is also an option if you want to slap things around with the Fish Claymore. It does grant 24% elemental burst damage at R5. Okay, so for the 5-star suitable weapons, out of the 4 current Claymore choices in the game, they're all actually really solid for her in their own respective manners. We have Wolf's Gravestone and the Unforged, which I have not yet leveled up. These are the attack percent stat sticks. So the Wolf's Gravestone conditionally grants an attack percent team buff, and the Unforged is a selfish attack percent weapon, shield dependent for the 100% boost. Gyro Prime. So this weapon has solid base attack and a nice recharge secondary stat. This is an underrated stat for Eula given how energy hungry she is with her 80 cost burst and also with not that easy self-generating orbs. Not only that, but it has a physical damage scaling passive here, What I mean by that is the vacuum blades produced by this passive scale with physical damage and can crit. And then finally, Broken Pines. This is her signature weapon, highest base attack at 741 at level 90, along with physical damage bonus secondary, attack percent from the passive, and uniquely, attack speed. So though the attack speed is great for her spamming normal attacks, for her burst, it's actually threshold based to improve the burst stacks. More details coming soon in the complete guide. So, all these 5-star weapon options are solid, from Broken Pines to Wolf's Gravestone, Skyward Pride, all the way to the Unforged. I would say choose the most fluid for your playstyle and team composition. So, for Eula's artifacts, they follow the standard for physical DPS. Prioritize a mixture of 2-piece Pale Flame and 2-piece Bloodstain for the universal 50% physical damage increase. 4-piece Pale Flame is also excellent on Eula, granting up to 18% attack and 50% physical damage bonus from the 4-piece bonus, but the uptime is not nearly as effective as Pale Flame Bloodstain, especially if less than C2 Eula or her hold elemental skill goes on a 10-second cooldown and can't refresh the 4-piece bonus. In most situations, I would recommend 2-piece Pale Flame plus Bloodstain over 4-piece Pale Flame, unless you have C2+, and you seriously got RNG carried by Pale Flame artifacts. Other alternatives: 2-piece Noblesse and 2-piece Bloodstain, since both of those artifacts are from the same dungeon. 4-piece Emblem set also works for a pure burst damage based Eula and provides her a little extra 20% recharge. Otherwise, the attack percent pieces Gladiator and Shimenawa would fit anywhere as a 2-piece set mixture. Main stat pieces should be fairly straightforward, running attack percent, physical damage bonus, and crit rate or crit damage. Crit damage mask if you can maintain 60+ crit rate with a weapon like Serpent Spine, or if you want to go for damage per screenshot builds where you just reset 100 times for that crit anyway. Alright, quick crash course about Constellations, because with the rerun here, some of you may be interested in some of the front-loaded ones. Constellation 1. After you hold your elemental skill, 30% physical damage increase for 6 to 18 seconds depending on your Grimheart stacks. View this as a strict 15 to 20% DPS increase. The uptime is max 90% with perfect rotations without C2. C2. Holding the elemental skill cooldown drops from 10 seconds down to 4 seconds. Pretty significant. So typically the hold cooldown is 10 seconds, but with this Constellation, it's equal to the press cooldown. This one's a really solid one for energy gain, since more skill spam, Pale Flame uptime if you're running a 4-piece set, and the ability to hold skill into the burst rotation and hold skill again before the burst pops. This combo is not possible without C2. Constellation 3 and 5 are +3 levels to the burst here and then skill here. Constellation 4, her burst sword damage and Ascension 1 passive gain a 25% damage increase to less than 50% HP enemies. This Constellation is just most notable for increasing her burst damage. And finally, Constellation 6. This is one of the strongest damage increases from C5 to C6 in the game. With this Constellation, her burst damage starts with the 5 stacks of energy, which is almost double multiplier strength than at base, and 50% every single hit to gain an additional stack on top of the one that you normally gain. So with all this into account, this is a nearly a 70 to 100% damage boost to her burst, multiplier-wise. With Constellation 6, Eula's burst can reach the highest possible screenshot damage in the game. Have fun if you get this. Alright, so for team building, Eula is really looking for an energy battery to assist with her 80 cost burst, and an Electro for superconduct and preferably shielding to resist interruption. One Inazuma Archon that we've recently been introduced to fits this build quite well. Raiden Shogun doubles as a superconductor, rotational DPS when Eula's on cooldown, an energy refunder for the team, and burst damage increaser with her elemental skill. The only problem is that Raiden is used on popular compositions including the national team comp, so this may not be feasible if she's already occupied elsewhere. If she hasn't been on the forefront of your teams though, but you're interested in Eula's gameplay, Raiden is a great fit. Besides that, the Cryo Cat that has been a staple battery synergizes very well with Eula, Diona. With Favonius or Sacrificial Bow, Diona provides that much needed energy, shielding, healing, and double cryo resonance for the team. Another well-known composition, Double Geo Eula plus Superconductor. Slap in Zhongli, physical resistance shred Jade Shield, along with another Geo like, what do you know, the other rerun banner, Albedo, and an Electro for Superconduct. This one focuses on survivability with no healing and with maximum physical resistance shred and sub DPS from supports. Other general great team additions for Eula. Double Electro for the extra energy gain, any form of double cryo if not running Diona, non-C6 Bennett for the attack transfer, Crit Rosaria for the crit transfer, and specific nuke-based compositions that may include a Xingyan, C2 Klee, Mona, or Bennett, or etc. And those are my general preparation tips around Eula. We covered Ascension stuff, weapons, artifacts, constellations, and team building. A great precursor to my updated complete guide. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free and really supports the video and my channel. I regularly post a mixture of guides and personable content to the channel, so if you liked what you see here, feel free to check out my other content. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.